Testing, testing. We are live, so darn live. Almost live enough for me to change from the intro to the thing where you have to see my face. However, I still have to post that I'm ready to hang out on here. So bear with me. Quote post on Blue Sky, bsky.social. Live now. And I'll just say that, and I'll put my thing in there one more time. Everybody's gonna unfollow me. CV/. Everyone's gonna unfollow me because I'm now just all I do is self-promote. Apologies for the self-promotion, everybody. But if you're here, I hope that means that you don't hate the self-promotion too much. And maybe just only a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna start talking in a second about some video game manuals. Home Team Game Dev says no apologies for self-promoting. You know what? And actually, I have you to thank for some of the confidence to do that. I have seen you talk about that before, about how actually self-promoting. That's not where the camera's supposed to be. I forgot to put the camera up. You saw the side of my Dreamcast. What's up, everybody? Doing good. This is a good start. It's a good start. Home Team Game Dev has you tell us that it is important to promote what we do, to not to trust that it is worthwhile, and I appreciate that. The only people mad about self-promoting work for Giant Biz, where they have an entire department annoying everybody, is way worse and more than small biz or hobby folks ever will. That's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah, just doing this for fun, hobbies, all that kind of stuff is good, I guess. And we all support each other in this, right? So I think that that's good too. It's good to see you here today. You'll have to apologize. You know, you won't have to apologize. I have to apologize. You'll have to accept my apology, please, for my voice. I am better now. I was a little bit sick over the weekend, and on and off, and I am now better. However, my voice is still a little bit raw. It never quite made it to the point that, excuse me, that I love with my voice. What does happen sometimes, and I like it, is if I get sick enough and my voice, and my throat gets screwed up enough, I get a pretty cool for like a day and a half, like God of War voice. I get like the boy. It becomes very deep, very serious. It does not there right now. It sounds like right now I have to really push through to get my voice heard. And speaking of pushing through to get our voices heard, how about that election we got coming up? We're doing great. We're feeling good, and it's fantastic. So really looking forward to the next week and the fallout from the next week. I'm not here to who's in the election. We all are. I think we all are in the election, and there's no escape. It's the forever election. Yeah, no, you're right. Home Team Game Dev, haven't heard anything about it. It's been under the radar. This is kind of like an indie election. It's kind of cool. Only the cool people know about it. And it's going to be fantastic. There's no way around it. So I have a number of meetings that have now been scheduled for the day after the election. I think a number of folks have said that they don't want to do a meeting on the day of the election, which can't fault anybody for that. However, the answer has been to put meetings on the day after the election, and I happen to think that I might be feeling significantly worse that day. I think because we won't know what's going on, right? So jokes aside, this is obviously a crazy time. Please, I don't have like a platform here or whatever. I don't know why I'm doing this. This sounds so self-aggrandizing, but please go out and vote. Please go and do the vote that you need to do. We got to stop these people. And if nothing else too, it's important to go and vote down ballot, because so much of the power that the Republicans have right now is because of the down ballot work that they have done. The local stuff, the community stuff, the school board stuff. If you live in a place where there are competitive races for things like school board, for judges, for any of that sort of stuff, please do it. These folks are tireless, and they're so bad. They're such bad people that we got to stop it. Anyway, I know this is not, nobody's coming here for the politics zone. Everybody's here for Splatterhouse and for Decap Attack. But before we can get to that, we just wanted to talk about the Decap attack attempt on the government from the Republicans. So please go vote Tuesday or early or do whatever. And more than anything else, I hope that you're doing okay if you're here in the States. Feeling okay, because these are some spooky times. So let's go ahead and move on. That's a transition. All right. Who wants to talk about Splatterhouse? I'm going to talk a little bit about Splatterhouse here in 1 second. I'm going to just tell you. There it is. Splatterhouse. This is our first unprecedented. Dizzy and Lost points out unprecedented times. You could say they're unprecedented. And I hope that Donald Trump is unprecedented again. Did that work? I don't know if that worked. But I hope that he's put into a large cauldron and boiled and sent down a hill, never to be heard from again. So does that count too? I don't know if that works with anything here, but it's just kind of where I'm at. A Rube Goldberg device that drops a piano. Whatever, really, honestly. But first, go vote. That's the first step. Splatterhouse. This is our first. TurboGrafx 16 manual. I have noticed that actually I thought when I started this, TurboGrafx 16 stuff would be like rife with just incredible manual stuff. They tend to not have all that much going on in them. They tend to be a bit briefer. So far, I think if in my ranking of manuals by platform, it's Genesis, like way at the top. We got NES down here. SNES has some real good stuff. We got Plock, which is an all-timer, for instance, but there's a little bit more of a button-down nature to the SNES style of manual writing, and so Genesis stands ahead of the pack. But we do have Splatterhouse, and I don't know what this one's going to be like. I will say this, though, because it's Halloween and because it's time to be scary, but in the fun way, not the end of society way that the election potentially portends. I wanted to share this one because I remember Splatterhouse as a little kid. Came out on TurboGrafx 16 in 1989, something like that. First time I saw it was at the Good Guys. If y'all remember the Good Guys, the department store, the electronics store, the Good Guys. We gotta be good. My mom wouldn't let us shop there because they worked on commission and they were very aggressive. So we never bought a TV there. But they had a big area at the Corte Madera Good Guys where you could see all the different games, and they were all set up there, kiosks, everything. It was incredible. And they had Splatterhouse, and I got so scared of Splatterhouse. It was it seemed bloody. It was a nightmare situation, and I had to leave the store because I was a sensitive kid. So let's push through the horror of seeing gore and the childhood traumas that going to the Good Guys foisted upon me by reading some of the manual. First, though, let's check out a trailer for Splatterhouse. Let me know if the volume makes any sense. It's a little bit difficult because it's a very low quality video, just because I think of when it was captured.
So, you want to know the story of Splatterhouse, the new horror video game for TurboGrafx 16? They say he stalks the old haunted mansion. They say he's looking for his girlfriend. They say his only weapon against the maggot-eating ghouls of Tucker is a 2x4. And you say you want to play this game? Splatterhouse. Buy a TurboGrafx 16 system now and get one of 38 selected games free.
That's a hell of a deal. That sounds pretty darn good to me. I want to call one thing out here. I really appreciate how it ends with, I don't know who these guys are. Oh man, come on.
Free.
I don't know who these guys are. Oh no, I've screwed it all up. Hold on. I've screwed up my screen. Okay. I just want to point out, I like that after all that horror, you get to see some cute doggies. I think that's cool. So you've had a big emotional moment, and now you have some cute doggies, which I like. Yeah, the sound is very quiet. I don't really know what's going on. It doesn't matter. It's basically just a guy splitting a log and using it to turn it into a 2x4, which is the weapon in the game. Now, I will say this: I want to call out something here because I have a sickness of age ratings. I have an age rating sickness. Let me see here. There's a very clever little cut where they show some violence without any blood, which allows it to be suited for a general audience in paid advertising. I'm going to show you here.
There's a 2x4, and you say you
You see that very clever hit? He hits him. He hits him, but
and you
there's no blood. He hits, whack, that's it, and then they cut
say
away.
you want to play this game.
You want to play this game? So anyway, that is Splatterhouse, the commercial for Splatterhouse on the TurboGrafx 16. One more thing about TurboGrafx is that then they had Splatterhouse 2 and Splatterhouse 3 on the Sega Genesis. There was no Splatterhouse 1 on the Sega Genesis. However, Chris over at Monster Bath Games, who've made a number of other things in the past, Death Wish Enforcers, Battle Princess Madeline, amazing artist, amazing 2D artist, incredible sprite work. He's been working on a project, I think, to just sort of figure out how to port Splatterhouse 1 to the Genesis. It's very cool work. He's done incredible stuff in there, and I can't wait to see more of that. So maybe one day we'll be able to play Splatterhouse 1 on our Sega Genesis and give me some real deal nightmares again, just like when I was a kid at the Good Guys. So let's go ahead and read a little bit of Splatterhouse. It's a little bit small, and I apologize for that. I'll bring this down a bit here. Let's see. There we go. We got Splatterhouse, some pretty cool art, if I do say so myself. I'm gonna have to do a lot of moving around here, so stick with me, bear with me. Let's see, can I pull this to the side? There we go. Okay, Splatterhouse. So Splatterhouse on the TurboGrafx 16. You get some violence happening here. Both people don't seem too friendly. I'm not really sure I support either all that much, but when you buy this game, you are thanked for buying this advanced turbo chip game card, Splatterhouse. Tells you all about using your new turbo chip game card. You got to familiarize yourself with the proper use of your TurboGrafx 16 Entertainment Super System, which is a heck of a name. Precautions concerning its use and the proper use of this turbo chip game card. Always operate your TurboGrafx 16 Super System and this turbo chip game card according to instructions. Please keep this manual in a safe place for future reference. And luckily, it looks like actually Konami has kept this manual in a safe place for the TurboGrafx 16 Mini, which is a great system, by the way. If you don't have one or you haven't seen one, it's fantastic. I don't know why they got so expensive, but they're great. And thank you to Konami for giving us a manual that we can read today. So here we go. Let's read a little bit about it. Apologies for the small font. Let me actually go ahead and share this in chat. Chat. Received a manual. I don't know, man. A boom of thunder, darkness, a scream, and then... The place was called the West Mansion, but to all who knew its legend, it was known as Splatterhouse. It was once the home of the famed parapsychologist Dr. West. There was a research lab in the house where Dr. West conducted some of his most gruesome experiments. It was even said that it was in this house that he created the most hideous creatures that have ever walked the face of the earth. But no one knew for sure. Dr. West had not been seen or heard from in years, and no one who has ever gone into the mansion has lived to tell the tale. They should demolish this building. It sounds like a bad place. Rick and his girlfriend Jennifer were parapsychology majors at the local university. There's a lot of parapsychology going on here. They were both very interested in the works of Dr. West, as he was the most famed parapsychologist in the world. One day, they decided to visit the abandoned West Mansion as part of a project they were working on in school. As they walked towards the house, it started to rain. They entered. All went dark. Lightning cracked through the sky. There was a frantic scuffle, then a scream, and suddenly, Jennifer was gone. Rick's unconscious body was covered with blood. Hours later, Rick awoke to a fantastic horror. He was alone and drenched with blood. But the most terrifying thing of all was that a hideous mask covered his face. He had read tales of this terror mask in Dr. West's writing. It was said to have ancient spiritual powers. As his only hope, Rick must depend on this mask to give him the strength and courage to find Jennifer. Now, Rick's fight has begun. Scary sounds, loud noises, frightening stuff. Then it tells you, inserting the Turbo Chip game card, it tells you all about doing this. I think we're good. We probably don't need to go that. We get to go down here and get started. The TurboGrafx 16 will always feel alien to me because the place that should be a pause button, start button, is called the run button, which I think the first time I saw a TurboGrafx 16 as a kid, I was deeply confused. Maybe not the smartest kid, but I was confused nonetheless. So feedback to NEC on that one. It's a confusing button naming. You got controlling the movements of Rick. Controlling the movements of Rick sounds cool to me. You get your weapons, and you get how to continue. You get your weapons. Let's take a look at some weapons. You get your 2x4. You swing this weapon like a baseball bat for awesome destructive power. Use it as much as you like in one area. If you're injured and drop it, pick it up again, even if you're in the water. That's good. The big plank of wood works in the water too. You got a golden cleaver. You also swing this weapon like a baseball bat for maximum effect. Use it as much as you like in one area. Stone, monkey wrench, and spear. Throw these weapons at the enemy. These weapons are only good for one use. You got a shotgun. That's a powerful weapon. Yeah, no kidding. Rick's gun allows you to attack enemies from a distance. The shotgun comes equipped with 8 rounds of ammunition, so you can use it up to 8 times. And there's a note: each weapon can only be used in the area where it was picked up. Once you leave the area, the weapon is lost. It's a tough break for Rick, but I understand. You get stages of the game. This is a brief manual, so we'll be done with this one pretty quickly. In my nightmares of living in the Splatterhouse, as I was afraid was going to happen to me when I saw this game as a kid at the Corte Madera Good Guys, I will be free. I'll be free from these demons. There are 7 levels or stages of the game that must be cleared. Each stage, I'll move that to the side, each stage has multiple areas. In the final level, you will face the leader of the eerie ghouls, zombies, and creatures that were created by Dr. West. What is parapsychology? Is parapsychology, I don't know. Is that like the psychology of parasocial relationships? I don't know. Anyway, they shouldn't have gone into this house. Like, they knew. Dr. West is clearly famous. The mansion is not good. They should have known this. It was a scary night to begin with. I'm not trying to victim blame here, but parapsychology is psychology while skydiving. The therapist, but instead it's instead of couch parachuting. That's right. That's what it is. I thought so. See, I knew we could get. That's why we have these. That's why we have these weekly sessions, so we can learn about science and about the human mind. So stage 1 is the underground dungeon. Here, chained cadavers, zombies, parenthetically zombies, and bizarre creatures crawl around inside an eerie dungeon. Razor sharp spikes thrust out at you from the floor. Your weapon is a 2x4. Stage 2, the sewage canal. Roped corpses fall from the ceiling and sludge monsters attack you at every turn. When you reach the final room, you must battle a gruesome poltergeist. Here you get 2x4 and a wrench, which is helpful. Stage 3 is the forest ambush. Rick's search for Jennifer continues as he goes into the forest. In a steady downpour, he readies his gun as the monsters wait in ambush. He gets a shotgun and a stone. Stage 4, the Forbidden Room. That's just like Dad's office, maybe. All who enter, beware. Avoid the spinning razor-edged blade. Oh, this is not Dad's office. Enter the Hall of Mirrors. See figures from the dark side. Ooh. You get a spear and a golden cleaver. You get your stage 5 is the Rendezvous. Searching for his sweetheart, Rick fights on through demons and evil spirits that lie in wait at every turn. The two meet again, but 2x4 level. Stage 6, the Womb. It's not going to be good. Inside this cave, the noxious creatures are born. Yeah, that's the circle of life. If Rick cannot destroy the newborn evil here, the nightmare will continue forever. Weapons, none. I find that hard to believe. just your wits. Excuse me. Stage 7 is the finale. Here, if Rick succeeds in defeating the demonic leader, the cursed terror mask will return to its resting place, and our hero will return to normal. And you also have no weapons here, so you're totally screwed. You're completely hosed. I'm sorry about that. You get to meet the monsters though, and I think we'll meet the monsters here before we swing over to a Decap attack. Here are Dr. West's evil hordes, the product of his experiments gone awry. He's not a good doctor. You got red walking zombies, keep coming at you. These are cool. They're just like, here's the thing, and then an exclamation. Green walking zombies are out to get you. Chained corpses spit up disgusting deadly slime, cannot be destroyed. Bats fly high and low. Large-headed demon, chop its head off, but look out, once you chop it off, it will come flying after you. Maybe there's a better way to kill him, I don't know. Sludge monsters attack with lethal punches. Hanging corpses fall at you from the ceiling. Like that they fall at you. Directed falling. I'm going to fall at you. Watch out. He's going to fall at you. Crawling red slime will grab hold of your legs and will rip you to shreds. A crawling slug will disgust you with its presence. Knives will pierce you with their needle-sharp points. Chairs will try to pulverize you. I feel like with chairs they had to come up with something for that. They'll try to pulverize you. Crawling hand tries to slap you into oblivion. It's the precursor to the slappers only mode in GoldenEye. Newborn monsters will jump on your back if you let them live. This is true. I have 2 kids. Fire demons and fire logs cannot be destroyed and must be avoided. Tag yourself. Folks, I am hanging corpses. Falling at somebody sounds like where my energy level is at. So there we go. Playing tips. Let's see if there's anything. If you want more of a challenge, you can play it in difficult mode. I think that's cool. Home team game dev is bats. I think that's important. Oh, home team game dev and Dizzy and Lost are both bats. Well, good news. Bats was the plural. So you can both be bats. I don't think that there's any limit on the number of bats in chat. The bats of chat. The bats of chat are here today. I think that my brain is leaking. I think that my brain is leaking. I think like everything with the election and this manual, everything is just sort of like coming together to create a real slurry. So the bats of chat, they see us batting. We're batting 1,000 here on the stream. And if you take different routes in some stages of the game, you might end up somewhere you've never been before. Stay alert. You never know when something will pop out at you, and save your weapons for the most deadly demons. But you can't take them out of the room. So that's Splatterhouse 1. Thank you, Splatterhouse 1. You know, what I could have done was done Splatterhouse 1, 2, and 3 today, but I didn't think this through. But I'm actually quite excited about Decap Attack. So Decap Attack, which is coming up next, is a game that I loved on the Genesis. You're gonna hear, I couldn't find a TV commercial for it, but you're gonna hear some very Sega Genesis-y sounds, and that's gonna be intense. So there we go. So I think that's I lost my train of thought, I think, because my brain has fallen out. Darren Hoopke, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming. We're about to read Decap Attack, which I always sometimes, for whatever reason, get confused with Chuck Rock. And both fantastic games, but only one of them is Halloween coded. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at Chuck Rock. Let me know, because there's some real Genesis sounds coming up. Let me know, please, very fast, if the sounds are way too piercing. I'm going to try and make sure that the volume isn't as low as it had been last time I did this, but you know how the Genesis is. So trailer, I should have done this first. Trailer, Decap Attack. Let me bring this down. Just you let me know. Hold on. I'm going to bring the volume down just a little because, oh boy, got to play it loud. That's right. Genesis does what Nintendo don't, and that is modulate the volume. Let's see. Okay, Sega. Yep. Jesus. Are you awake yet? You guys like this Genesis sound? Yeah. Come to the underworld, army to conquer the surface world. Yeah. This is the good stuff. These guys are scary. Be careful, Chuck. These are the good guys. Now's the time to test your power, Chuck. Then you guys get to see the game. The music is so good. All right, we're not going to do this for the whole stream, although I kind of want to. Let's check out some gameplay. Abdomen Land. Oh no, a commercial. Have you guys seen this commercial?
Are you as exhausted and fed up?
I'm so sick of the election. I'm so tired. I'll have a comment about that person in a second. I don't know who she is very much, but I've got some thoughts. Space Astro Cat, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming. Yeah, Darren Hoop, that's what I call music Genesis. I would take that's what I call music Genesis compilation. Just like ear splitting, blows out your speakers in the car, but I love it. So this is 1991. I was probably scared of this too when I first saw it. Just full disclosure. His little leggies kicking. We love Decap attacking his little leggies. Oh yeah. This is a very Genesis level design. Yeah. I stand by the fact that I think this sounds better than the Super Nintendo, because if I'm playing a video game, I want the sounds to like hit. I want them to hit. I don't want it to sound like it's coming through a milk carton. That's what I think happens with the Super Nintendo. So anyway, this is Decap Attack. I think you kind of get the gist. Let's see if there's another cool looking area here. Look at that orange. That's a nice orange for 1991 in a video game. Oh, that guy got killed. So anyway, that's Decap Attack. Sorry. Ooh, he won. God, hell yeah. Tibuland. That's Tibuland. All right, let's read Decap Attack, shall we? Thank you, everybody. Let me know if you guys just want to watch the rest of the game. I'm kind of down. Maybe what I'll do is on Tuesday, because I'm like, I gotta do something for myself that's gonna distract me from everything going on Tuesday. Maybe I'll just do like a long stream where we just look at some of these games and just watch them for a bit. People can join, they can leave, they can do whatever they want, but we could call it counter programming. So anyway, Decap Attack. Here we are. I love this logo down here. It looks very cool. Instruction manual. Yep, absolutely. We got it. Starting up, we know how to turn on our Sega Genesis. I think we've read a few manuals in here before, so we know how to start up our Sega Genesis. Please shout if anybody needs to know how to turn on your Sega Genesis and insert your Genesis cartridge and insert your Genesis control pads. But importantly, we are beheaded for adventure. You can tell already that I think we're going to have this kind of manual with a lot of good wordplay. Right now, you're Chuck D. Head. You used to be someone else, or several someones, but they're not around anymore, and only Frank and Stein knows who they were. See, it's like this. Dr. Stein made you, or at least he tried to. Somehow he never got your real head on exactly right. Or is it tight? Anyway, something else went wrong too. You got an extra head, one in your chest. Oh, before I continue, I'm so sorry. Chat. The bats in chat deserve a manual. The bats. Ugh. Okay. You got an extra head, one in your chest. Oh well, they say two heads are better than one. Now, the reason you were created was to help pull things back together. They've started to get out of hand, and out of legs and arms and eyes and hearts, because the fearsome Max Decap has recruited Dr. Frankenstein's weird creations for his own personal army. Confused yet? Well, you're on an island, and all the sections of the island are made up of body parts. But the big bad boss of all bosses, Max Decap, has separated all the parts in order to gain total control. Your job? Use your head to get through each of the 7 parts of the island. Punch bad guys, collect coins, find and use power up potions, and more. When you complete a level, each level has 3 rounds, a part of the island will be reconnected. You'll meet all kinds of strange and bizarre creatures: man eating plants, werewolves, biting totem poles, ghoulish ghosts, land stalking fish, walking skulls, and much, much more. And those are just the little guys. Wait till you see the bosses: giant toads, monstrous brains, and mutated moles. Yikes! Like, yikes! The person writing the manual is getting super scared. Beat them all, and Dr. Frankenstein has a very personal reward for you. It's something to help you get ahead in this world. We refuse to say more, but you'll see. Decap, Mr. Decap Attack, Chuck D Head. I would be leery of Dr. Frankenstein's personal reward. I don't know what to tell you. Take control. That's you get that. You can control Chuck. I think now I'm realizing that I always get this and Chuck Rock confused because they're both named Chuck. That's a very yeah, maybe not the smartest guy on the planet, but that's me. Getting started. When you first start up the game, you will see the island of body parts separating. So that horrible image we saw earlier was essentially just a tectonic shift, I think, and the land mass is scattering. Maybe it took place over a couple 100 million years. I don't know. This is to show you that the boss of all big bosses, Max Decap, has torn the island apart. Next, you'll be greeted by Max Decap himself. He'll give you a little pep talk, or should we say a grave warning. You will then see the title screen. Press the start button as prompted. Now you will be given a choice between starting the game or going to the options screen. I am so jealous. Um, Chuck D. Rock was his name too. Oh God. See, this maybe they live in the same universe. Maybe Chuck Rock and Decap Attack are from the same universe. The extended universe of Chucks. Okay. Let's see here. We get Charles Barkley in there as well. The Chuck Zone. When you finish all 3 rounds of a level, you're invited to a bonus game if you've collected any coins. That seems pretty good to know. So back at the lab, it tells you all about the cool stuff you can see, but we'll keep moving on down here. Ooh, would I see something kind of cool? Oh, here you go. I like this level of like conversationalism in the in manuals. Dr. Frankenstein and Igor are concocting some very special power-ups potions for you. Some make you stronger, some make you faster, and one causes a rather significant earthquake. Bye-bye, baddies. I like that. I don't think this one has this manual has a description or I'm sorry, a description of who made it. Credits. The word for that is credits. I don't think this manual has credits. But we do have some power potions revealed. I would like to know who wrote this manual. So if you have any insider info on who wrote the manual for Decap Attack, I would love to reach out to them. Here's what each power up potion does. Xenon, the earthquake we talked about. Swill surrounds you in a ball of protective light. Trioxy, use this powerful ball of light as a weapon. Freeze freezes all baddies on the screen. Calaxy makes you run faster, jump higher. Nick's with Speedy Claxton. Ooze O2 makes you reach farther and punch harder. So use your head, or both of them. It's amazing what Chuck can do with his heads. In fact, we don't quite know how he'd survive without them. One head is for punching, the other is for throwing, and both are good for getting good things and fighting bad things. Here are some ways you can use both of Chuck's heads. The goodies scattered throughout the islands are many useful items: hidden potions, special treasures, coins, and extra lives. The trick is, of course, to find them and how to use them. You get shrunken head statues. So you got spring poles. These useful contraptions appear at various points throughout the island. They're a great way to get a head start on things. To boing off a pole, jump as close as you can to it, and try to hit as high as you can. It will then swing you back and forth and fling you on your way. You got bone bunkers. Bone bunkers. These bone bunkers flash up. I can't. Bone bunkers. These bone bunkers flash up from the ground or out of walls. Sometimes you'll find just one. Other times you'll find a towering stack. A towering stack of bone bunkers. Use them to catapult Chuck to new heights. Bone bunkers. I don't know why. Bone bunkers has broken my brain. Let's move on. After the bone bunkers, we have the baddies. All the ghouls, mutations, and monsters on these islands are now in Max Decap's army. Use your heads to fight them and to find the powerful potions to give you an edge. Here are just two of the bone chilling creatures you'll meet. You got bone bonkers and bone chilling creatures. Toady, who looks like a good boy. I think Toady seems like a cool dude. Sup, Toady? Then you got Bullhead here. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I had to if I had to read the body language in this photo, if we got like a body language expert in here, um, Psychoc the Solly, welcome. Thanks for joining. You just made it in time to learn about bone bonkers and Bullhead, the bad guy. Um, if I had to read the body language here, I would actually say that Decap, Mr. Chuck D. Head, is the villain. He seems like a bad guy here because look at how scared this dude looks. Bullhead just looks like a scared guy. He's like, this guy's so weird. And he's got two heads. He probably talks too much and doesn't leave you alone. Would not want to sit next to Chuck D. Head on an airplane. A decapped. Good God. This is why I want to know who wrote this manual. I want to reach out to them and I want to thank them. A decaptivating island. This may be just the trip of an after lifetime. Water, scenery, adventure, and so much more. Take in the wildlife. Or should we say take on the wildlife, huh? Bonk pop-eyed super slugs, do in dingy ducks, and squelch slithering cow skulls. This place is crawling with creepy critters. There are 7 levels in all, and each one has 3 rounds. At the end of each third round, you come head to head with a super boss. And even if you do defeat him, you won't be able to enter the next level unless you've found the hidden treasure. Start each new level from the start sign. Finish each level at the goal sign. I think I can do that. Should we read about the levels themselves? Who's ready to learn about whatever the name of this planet is, with all the different islands that have been torn asunder? Um, Abdomainland. Ooh, level 1. Abdomainland is smack dab. It's just a bunch of dads wrote this game. Abdomainland is smack dab in the middle of the island. A good place to get your feet wet, unless, of course, you stick them in hot, bubbling lava. Watch for the arrowheads. They're everywhere. And don't forget your hidden treasure. Elbow Island, level 2. I looked at this one and I wasn't sure what it was going for until I said it out loud. That is the sign of quality. This place is surrounded by water, so don't let Elbow Island lead you to a watery grave. Floating ghosts, flying ducks, and snapping skeleton fish enter the scene, followed by Toady. You'll know him when you see him. Watch out for Toady. Tibuland. I read this initially like it was Tiburon, the town in Marin. It's a bucolic, wonderful Tibuland. A bone-chilling wasteland of a place. Culturally, that jives with Tiburon. A bone-chilling wasteland of a place. Even the trees are dry as a bone. Steer clear of the totem pole. It could bury you alive. And then we got, excuse me, Armington. It's okay. Armington, you're in deep water this time. Maybe even in over your head, huh? Or both of them. The boss here, a brain with a mind of its own. You've got Pumpington, level 5. Yeah, this is a hard one. Took a second though. Pumpington. You got your you got your bone bouncer. What was it? The bone bonkers? Yeah. Careful, watch out for the bone bonkers in Pumpington, the heart of the island. This bloody place is red hot. It all comes to a head when you meet, holy moly, a totally modern mutation. Oh, Last Leg Land. You're coming down the home stretch here. Some of these guys are familiar, but who invited the clowns? The final showdown? You're going to go ape over this one. It's Donkey Kong. Island, level 7. Island, sorry, level 7. It's your window to the world, or at least to a way out of here. If you've gotten this far, you'll be able to see your way clear, clear into the clutches of Max Decap. Well, good luck. That's not very helpful. 3 lives are better than 1, it says. We'll just find out a little bit about this. You start the game with 3 lives and 2 hit hearts. You can add or subtract 1 heart in the options menu, which means you can start the game with 1, 2, or 3 hearts. Each heart, shown in the upper left corner of the screen, is worth 2 hits from the enemy. On the first hit, the heart gets weaker. On the second hit, all the blood drains from it. When all 3 hearts are drained, you lose a life. To see how many lives you get left, go to the lab by pressing button A. Your lives are numbered next to Chuck's head on the right side of the screen. The game is over when Chuck chalks up a win against Max Decap, or when all his lives are used up. When that happens, Chuck has to chuck it. There's no like reference to upchuck, barfing, anything like that in the game. It's a very it's a very very buttoned down manual. Tips for getting ahead. Never leave a shrunken head statue unopened. Behind it may lie an extra life, valuable potions, or the special treasure that gets you to the next level. Statues may hold enemies too. Be careful. Stay on top. Oh, stay away from the roving totem pole. If you get too close, he'll bury you alive. They really want you to know that. They've called that out twice. When boinging off a pole, use the movement of the pole to give you yourself as much of a thrust as possible. To scale a bone bonker wall, press the D button in the direction the bone bonker throws you and hit button C repeatedly. Excuse me. Repeatedly hit button C to float gently down. For extra height when jumping, hold down the C button instead of tapping it. And that's where we get. You get your date, your name. You can write it down in your scorebook. Success with a question mark. Was it a success? I don't know. I think that is up to that's in the eye of the beholder. So that's the game. If anybody has any questions about the game, please know that you can call area code 415-871-GAME. That's 415-871-GAME to get some information about how to play, where to go, and maybe you can ask them a little bit more about bone bunkers. And that's Chuck Rock. Let's take a quick look here for some more intense action from Sega, just as a heads up. Just so you know, fascist right-wing ideology was had penetrated video games a long time ago, long before Call of Duty, and you can see it here in the "I'm afraid of the city" paranoia on the back of the for Streets of Rage. My words got jumbled up there. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, stripped right out of the Fox News sphere. A city cries out. In the action-packed tradition of Shinobi and Golden Axe, Sega brings you Axel Stone, Adam Hunter, and Blaze Fielding, 3 ex-cops tough enough to take on a city totally corrupted by violence and crime. This is just every major city, according to the Trump campaign. The streets. To clean up the gang of thugs and punks, you'll need all 21 of your attack moves. Slash out with an uppercut. Leap, kick, and land with a smashing knee. Grab a bad guy and throw him down hard. In the 2-player simultaneous mode, you hold a punk while your buddy takes him to pieces. Takes him to pieces. We're going to take him to pieces. The impact. A lead pipe, a knife, a club. Take your pick of 6 different weapons. But these low lives don't just line up for punishment, so watch your back. And watch for Streets of Rage, available fall 1991. It's time for rough street justice. God, you know what? I complain about the politics inherent in this sort of thing. However, that game's real good. It's a real good video game. And I have my hot take is that it's better than the second one. I think it's better than the second one. I like the music the most. I like how the sounds are. I like when a guy falls down, he goes, ah! Like it's real crunchy. It's good. It's crunchy Genesis era. There's like 3 eras to Genesis for me. There's the very early Genesis where it's like real rough. Then there's the late era Genesis where I think things got a little too glossy. It's like Sonic 3. You get like the red box stuff. It just doesn't feel quite right anymore. But that crunchy mid-era 91, 92, 1990 to 1992, that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. That is my favorite color palettes. That is everything. Space Azure Cat is correct that yes, this did have to be a city. However, though, I am going to say that if they made Fields of Rage, to your point, a countryside beat 'em up, if they made Fields of Rage I would be very interested in how that goes. Like the freeway levels in Ninja Turtles where the cars are coming at you on both sides, but it's just a field and like tractors and threshers. I think that would be pretty cool. Psychoc the Sale 1900 Cult Manual. Yeah, I don't know about that one, but I will read that if there is a manual for it. I think absolutely. If there's any game out there that comes out that you know of, anybody here that has a manual, I would be with some story stuff in it or some character to it. I would love to read it. I'm a big fan of that stuff, and some folks are doing it. Again, I think we got to read the Plucky Squire recently. A number of other games, so it's great stuff. So yes, please share it on Steam. I'll take a look at it and I'll see what they've got. I appreciate that. But yeah, anyway, there we go. There's we got some politics and we got some scares, and sometimes it's hard to separate the two from one another. So I want to thank y'all for coming. I hope that everybody in the States is doing okay in the lead up to the election. And to the rest of the world, I'm sorry about the drama that we are foisting on everybody. And be good to yourselves. Go out and vote, and take care of each other. And thank you so much for coming by. I really appreciate it. See y'all next week, and have a great Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Have a great Wednesday. Happy Halloween tomorrow. There we go. That's the one. That's what I was trying to get to. Happy Halloween, everybody. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming.